I have a confession to make. This idea that in order to learn and to succeed and to become fluent in English, you need to make mistakes. Whenever I heard that, I just went along with the idea. I nodded in agreement. I said, yeah, of course, mistakes are awesome. I love making mistakes. Embrace your mistakes. Make as many mistakes as you can.
I mean, I can kick a ball. I was born in the same city as Messi, so I can kick a ball. But if mistakes are so awesome, I'll just go and purposefully make them, right? Look. Subscribe to the channel.
If mistakes were really so awesome, would you put that on a t-shirt? Of course not, because that'll be lame as fuck. It's this glorification of mistakes, it just gets under my skin. So what's my confession? Every time that this topic of embrace your mistakes came up, I always said, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good point. I agree with that. Even though deep inside I had this feeling that there was something off about that statement. It was off in a way that I couldn't properly explain, and because I couldn't begin to explain it, I just said, yeah, mistakes are awesome. But that's changed, and now I know how to explain how I feel about this. Let me summarize it for you in the following way. This don't avoid mistakes, embrace mistakes that people love to say is the right sentiment, but the wrong statement. Bottom line is, do I think that mistakes are an important part of learning? Of course I do. If you make mistakes, it means you're learning. If you don't make mistakes, it means you're not even trying. Should you learn from your mistakes? Of course. Should you pretend to feel happy and or throw a party when you make a mistake? Maybe, if you like parties. So I'll just share with you how I felt about making mistakes when I was in the middle of my learning the language years. I didn't take pleasure in making mistakes. Did I avoid making mistakes? Of course I did. Why would I pursue making mistakes? That's how I was able to go from A1 to C2 in 2 years. And sure enough, there is some value in not overthinking your correctness in English. But there's also a balance between overthinking and underthinking. You know, I've met so many people that they just don't care about speaking English with many mistakes. I mean, sure, they are communicating in a second language. Yes, they are. They're making themselves understood in a second language. Yes, they are. I celebrate that. Would I celebrate them more if they just cared a little bit more about fixing their mistakes? Yes, I would, and with a party. Now, I've never judged anyone for their mistakes in English, except probably myself. I might judge someone's complete disinterest in fixing their mistakes. Well, maybe if you catch me in a bad mood. But hey, if that's in alignment with their goals and with what they want to do, who am I to judge anyway? But let's go back to this don't avoid mistakes, embrace mistakes that people love to say. And the fact that it is the right sentiment, just the wrong statement. Can we say it in a way that the emphasis is not so much on mistakes? It's okay to avoid mistakes. It's okay to feel a little bit embarrassed when you make a mistake. Because look, no one likes making mistakes, and if they say they do, they're lying. A mistake isn't your enemy. A mistake is your friend. Just a friend that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable from time to time. So this is what I suggest when it comes to English practice. Listen. When it comes to speaking English and when it comes to practicing your spoken English, you don't get points for doing it right. You get points for doing it a lot. Did you get that? It bears repeating. When it comes to speaking English and to practicing your spoken English, you don't get points for doing it right? We don't want perfectionism to kill your fluency. You get points for doing it a lot, period. When we say, oh, mistakes, they're awesome, I love mistakes, we sound completely crazy. So just made 7 mistakes, you get 7 points. I made 2 mistakes, I get 2 points. So you win. Congrats, you're the winner. I get it, I just said it. Perfectionism can kill your fluency. You don't want to be the guy who says, hey, I don't want to make mistakes, so I just won't do anything. There are people like that. A lot of people have this paralyzing fear of speaking English. I was that person at one point. Go and watch this video if you want to hear that story. But that doesn't mean that a solution or a remedy to that is just this glorification of mistakes. We don't need to pretend that we love making mistakes. Instead, pursue abundance of practice. Anyway, that was a good rant. That felt good. Anyway, now there is this other thing that all these crazy famous celebrity teachers love to say, and it's, if you want to speak English more fluently, you should speak more, practice more. And I don't fault them because it makes sense, right? I've said it myself, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm just saying that you need to love and you need to pursue abundance of practice. Now, that practice should include writing as well. And when you do that, something very powerful happens, and I invite you to watch the video that I made on that, because writing is what's going to take your fluency from good to excellent. So go and watch that video, and I'll see you there.